All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Sarabjit Kaur and with me is Prashant Kumar Sinha. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate 25th National Youth Festival in Puducherry this morning. Prime Minister to also inaugurate 11 new government medical colleges across Tamil Nadu and new campus of Central Institute of Classical Tamil in Chennai today. India and China to hold 14th Corps Commander level talks along LAC in eastern Ladakh this morning. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 153 crore 70 lakh mark. World Bank says Indian economy to grow at 8.3% during the current financial year and 8.7% in the next fiscal. Khelo India Youth Games Haryana 2021 postponed following surge in corona cases, and in cricket, South Africa to resume their first innings at the overnight score of 17-1 against India in Cape Town Test today. As the number of COVID-19 cases are rising fast in several parts of the country, we appeal to our listeners to be vigilant and to get fully vaccinated and help others, including children between 15 and 18 years, get vaccinated. As the new Omicron variant of coronavirus is causing concern, please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion as a Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in the morning news since 16th August last year and will continue till 15th August this year. India Post has joined hands as the logistics partner with All India Radio News for the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. Recalling our yesterday's question, which freedom fighter published a monthly magazine called Free Hindustan to educate the Indian immigrant population of British Columbia about the exploitative policies of the British Indian government? The correct answer is Tarak Nath Das. AIR News got an overwhelming response from its listeners across the world, and the one lucky winner of the quiz is Pavan Kumar Tiwari from Karkoti Bhuma in Sivni district, Madhya Pradesh.
Thanks to All India Radio, I have been listening to Akashvani Radio since childhood. When there was no electricity and television in my village, then we would get the latest news and information to the country and the world through All India Radio. The program run by All India Radio are very informative. Greetings to everyone on the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and salute to the brave sons of the country. Jai Hind.
The next question of Amrit Mahotsav quiz will be shared with listeners on Monday, 17th January. Celebrate 75 years of India's independence by participating in Amrit Mahotsav quiz with AIR News.
And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the 25th National Youth Festival today in Puducherry via video conferencing. The 12th of January is the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda and is observed as National Youth Day every year. Briefing media about National Youth Festival, Secretary Youth Affairs Usha Sharma said that the festival aims to shape the minds of India's youth and to transform them into a united force for nation building. In view of the emerging COVID situation, the 2-day festival has been scheduled to be held virtually. The inauguration will be followed by the National Youth Summit, which aims to galvanize, ignite, unite and activate the youth towards nation building. so as to unleash the true potential of our demographic dividend. During the summit, the youth will get an opportunity to express their views on current issues like environment, climate change, SDG-led growth, technology, entrepreneurship and innovation, indigenous and ancient wisdom, national character and nation building, amongst others.
Union Minister for Youth Affairs and Sports and Information Broadcasting Anurag Singh Thakur will take part in the function. Prime Minister will also dedicate to the nation the MSME Technology Center, Puducherry. Union Minister for MSME Narendra, Minister of State for MSME Banu Pratap Singh Verma will also join through virtual mode. Puducherry Lieutenant Governor Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan, Chief Minister Rangaswamy and Minister Namasivayam will be the part of the functions. According to the Prime Minister's office, the National Youth Festival will be attended by youths representing every district of India. Those interested in participating can register through online. The youth across the country can also share their suggestions and innovative ideas on the occasion. Prime Minister may include some of the suggestions in his speech. The event is being conducted on the occasion of the 159th birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda. Chandramohan, Air News, Puducherry.
In Madhya Pradesh, on the occasion of Swami Vivekananda Jayanti, an ambitious campaign to connect 5,26,000 youth of the state with employment will be launched today. Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan will distribute loan sanction letters to the beneficiaries of self-employment schemes at Bhopal. The Chief Minister will also interact with youth beneficiaries of Balaghat, Neemach, Jhabua, Rewa, Tikamgarh and Gwalior districts through video conferencing about 1 p.m. A report.
State government will also organize employment fairs at all district headquarters where loan sanction letters will be provided to the beneficiaries of the various central government schemes. Chief Minister will also launch Mukhyamantri Udyam Kranti Yojana. The implementation of Mukhyamantri Udyam Kranti Yojana will be done by the Department of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. Under the scheme, loans will be made available to the youths of the state through financial institutions at concessional interest rates. Pooja Pivardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate 11 new government medical colleges across Tamil Nadu and the new campus of Central Institute of Classical Tamil in Chennai today. The new medical colleges are being established at an estimated cost of about 4,000 crore rupees. Of this amount, around 2,145 crore rupees has been provided by the Union government and the balance by the Tamil Nadu government. More details from our correspondent.
The medical colleges have been set up at Virudhunagar, Namakkal, Nilgiris, Tirupur, Tiruvallur, Nagapattinam, Dindigul, Kallakurichi, Ariyallur, Ramanathapuram and Krishnagiri district with a total capacity of 1,450 seats. It was a constant endeavour of the Prime Minister to promote affordable medical education and improve health infrastructure in all parts of the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also inaugurate the Central Institute of Classical Tamil built at a cost of Rs 24 crore with modern facilities in Chennai. The institute contributes to the promotion of classical Tamil and has a collection of over 45,000 ancient Tamil books. It also aims to translate and publish Tamil classic Tirukkural in various Indian languages and 100 foreign languages. Tamil Nadu Governor R.N. Ravi, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, Union Ministers Mansukh Mandavia, Dr. L. Murugan and other state ministers will be present in the virtual inauguration. Joy, AIR News, Chennai.
India and China will hold 14th round of military-level talks in eastern Ladakh today. At Moldo border meeting point on the Chinese side, the commanders of both the armies will meet around 9 this morning. Our Leh correspondent reports that as the talks in the 13th round couldn't make any steadfast progress, both army commanders may take a fresh approach in today's talks on comprehensive disengagement, de-escalation and other confidence-building measures in the Ladakh region.
The 14th round of military commander-level talks between India and China focus on disengagement at pending friction points along the line of actual control in the region. Since the first face-off between Indian Army and China's People's Liberation Army in May 2020, the area commanders held 13 rounds of talks to disengage and de-escalate at several friction points along the imaginary and perceptual line of actual control in the region. Disengagement at couple of friction points like Finger 4 area on the north bank of Pengang and Gogra were initiated. Still, both armies are discussing disengagement in the Depsang Plains as well. The 13th round could not get expected results as the Chinese side represented by a deputy to the commander in the talks. In the 14th round, new commander of Fire and Fury Corps Lieutenant General Anindya Gupta is leading Indian delegation, while PLA is led by Major General Liu Lin. Lieutenant General Anindya Gupta was part of 13th round of talks held on 10th October last year. Ramesh Chandra, All India Radio News, Leh.
India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed the 153 crore 70 lakh mark. Out of the total vaccinations, more than 89 crore 40 lakh vaccination doses were administered as first dose, while 64 crore 11 lakh doses were given as the second dose. The Union Health Ministry said more than 18 lakh 52,000 precaution doses for the identified categories of beneficiaries for COVID-19 have been administered so far. Over 2 crore 81 lakh vaccination doses have been given to children aged between 15 and 18 years so far. The ministry also said over 76 lakh 68,000 doses were administered till 7 p.m. yesterday. The vaccination exercise as a tool to protect the most vulnerable population groups in the country from COVID-19 continues to be regularly reviewed and monitored at the highest level. In Chhattisgarh, the average test positivity rate has exceeded 9% amidst increasing cases of COVID infection. Yesterday, more than 5,000 new cases of coronavirus infection were recorded in the state. At present, there are about 24,000 active cases of corona infection. Meanwhile, the state government has issued new guidelines in view of the spread of the infection. Let's hear more on this from our correspondent.
According to the guidelines issued by the Chhattisgarh government, the officers and employees of the Secretariat and all the heads of the offices of Raipur can work from home. These officers and employees have been asked not to leave the headquarters without prior permission and also stay in touch with their concerned officials. The State Health Department has also issued new guidelines regarding discharge from home isolation. According to this, corona-infected patients undergoing treatment in home isolation can be discharged in at least 7 days from the date of their being found positive if they do not have fever for the last 3 days. There is no need to do a corona test before the discharge of such patients. Vikalp Shukla, AIR News, Raipur.
Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari has tested positive for COVID with mild symptoms. In a tweet, Mr. Gadkari said he is following all the necessary protocols and has isolated himself under home quarantine. He requested all those who came in contact with him to isolate themselves and get tested.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate 25th National Youth Festival in Puducherry this morning. The Prime Minister to also inaugurate 11 new government medical colleges across Tamil Nadu and new campus of Central Institute of Classical Tamil in Chennai today. India and China to hold 14th Corps Commander level talks along LAC in eastern Ladakh this morning. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 153 crore 70 lakh mark. World Bank says Indian economy to grow at 8.3% during the current financial year and 8.7% in next fiscal. Khelo India Youth Games Haryana 2021 postponed following surge in COVID cases. And in cricket, South Africa to resume their first innings at overnight score of 17-1 against India in Cape Town Test today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 870-001-4242 पर।
870-001-4242।
Welcome back to the morning news. The World Bank has said that the Indian economy is expected to grow at 8.3% in the current financial year. It has upgraded India's GDP growth for the next fiscal to 8.7%, reflecting higher investment from the private sector and in infrastructure and dividends from ongoing reforms. In its latest global economic prospects, The World Bank said the growth outlook will also be supported by ongoing structural reforms, a better than expected financial sector recovery, and measures to resolve financial sector challenges despite ongoing risks. It said the global economic growth will dip to 4.1% in the current financial year and 3.2% in the next fiscal. And now let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
The 12th of January is the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda, born in Calcutta in 1863. His original name was Narendra Datta. Under the influence of his guru, Ramakrishna Paramhans, he became a monk in 1886 and formally accepted monastic vows, after which he came to be known as Swami Vivekananda.
Swami Vivekananda is credited with introducing the Western world to the Indian philosophies of Vedanta and Yoga.
The unknown monk of India suddenly leapt into fame at the Parliament of Religions held in Chicago in 1893.
I am proud to belong to a religion which has taught the world both tolerance and universal acceptance. We believe not only in universal toleration, but we accept all religions as true. I am proud to belong to a nation which has sheltered the persecuted and the refugees of all religions and all nations of the earth. I will quote to you, brethren, a few lines from a hymn which I remember to have repeated from my earliest boyhood, which is every day repeated by millions of human beings. As the different streams, having their sources in different places, all mingle their water in the sea, so, O Lord, the different paths which men take through different tendencies, various though they appear, crooked or straight, all lead to Thee.
ब्रह्मरूपमादिमध्यशेष सर्वभाषकम् भावशतकहीनरूपनित्यसत्समन्त्रयम्.
He founded the Ramakrishna Mission in 1897 and also established many mutts in India, the most important being the Belur Mutt in Howrah district.
He also inspired people to join the freedom struggle, thereby contributing to the rise of the national independence movement. He urged the youth of the country to fight colonial oppression, do social service, and work for the people in unity.
In his memory, January the 12th is celebrated as National Youth Day, and the week commencing from that day is known as the National Youth Week.
Jana karma papa punna taratamma sadhanam buddhi basha sakti rupa sarva karma bhasanam.
The great patriotic saint of modern India and an inspirer of the youth left for heavenly abode at the age of 39 on the 4th of July 1902 in Belur Mutt.
We also remember the revolutionary freedom fighter Surya Sen, who attained martyrdom on 12th of January 1934. When Surya Sen was an undergraduate at Berhampur College in 1916, he joined the Anushilan Samiti. Later he started teaching and thus came to be known as Master Da. He also worked closely with Sharat Chandra Bose and Chittaranjan Das.
The real change in his life came after he was arrested for 2 years from 1926 to 1928 for anti-British activities. Following his release from jail, Sen embarked on a mission to target the British colonial empire in India. His plan called for capturing 2 major British armories in Chittagong and distributing weapons to other revolutionaries who could then establish an armed unit.
After extensive deliberations and planning on the night of the 18th of April 1930, Surya Sen and his revolutionaries embarked on their mission. They did manage to cut off telephone and telegraph links and disrupted the movement of trains coming into Chittagong. But despite capturing these armories, the revolutionaries were unable to find ammunition.
Without ammunition, the revolutionaries understood that they couldn't engage the British in an open battle. Thus, the revolutionaries left for the Chittagong Hills.
In the ensuing battle, 80 British Army personnel died. The whereabouts of the revolutionaries were leaked by Netra Sen, and Surya Sen was arrested along with his associates. After trials, Surya Sen was sentenced to death. Moments before his hanging on the 12th of January 1934, Sen was brutally tortured by the merciless British. There are reports of how his bones, limbs and joints were shattered with a hammer and his nails torn out. Despite all the torture, Sen's spirit never broke. In his last letter to his comrades before his execution, Master Da wrote,
"Death is knocking at my door. My mind is flying away towards eternity. At such a pleasant, at such a grave, at such a solemn moment, what shall I leave behind you? Only one thing, that is my dream, a golden dream, the dream of free India. Never forget the 18th of April 1930, the day of the Eastern Rebellion in Chittagong. Write in red letters, in the core of your hearts, the names of the patriots who have sacrificed their lives at the altar of India's freedom." That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
स्वाधीनता संग्राम के वे निशान जो साक्षी हैं हमारे सेनानियों के संघर्ष और बलिदान के। आकाशवाणी समाचार ला रहा है विशेष श्रृंखला निशान। हर बुधवार को शाम 4:45 पर कार्यक्रम परिक्रमा में FM गोल्ड 100.1 मेगाहर्ट्ज पर।
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase hallmarked gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago.
The Jammu and Kashmir government has amended rules governing declaration of assets by government employees. The J&K government employees will now have to declare details of only those movable assets whose value exceeds his or her 2 months' salary. Prior to the amendment, the employees had to declare details of their movable properties if the value exceeded 20,000 rupees. According to the new rules, the government employees need to declare details of their cash balance, saving bank deposits, shares, cash certificates, fixed deposits, debentures, security bond, jewelry and ornaments, and household items, electric and electronic items only in their annual returns. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has extended his best wishes to Netherlands Prime Minister Mark Rutte for a successful 4th term in office. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said he is confident that they will work together to advance the wide-ranging partnership between India and the Netherlands to new heights.
Khelo India Youth Games Haryana 2021, scheduled to be held between February 5th and 14th this year, has been postponed. The decision was taken in view of the current COVID-19 situation. Originally scheduled for November-December 2021, the event was postponed to February due to fears of a third wave of the pandemic. With the increase in numbers of the COVID-19 pandemic situation, the sporting event has been rescheduled again. The Khelo India Youth Games will be held in 5 cities: Panchkula, Ambala, Chandigarh, Shahabad and Delhi. Around 10,000 athletes are expected to participate in 25 sporting disciplines.
In cricket, South Africa will resume their first innings at the overnight score of 17 for 1 on day 2 of the third and final test against India in Cape Town today. Aiden Markram on 8 at not out and Keshav Maharaj on 6 not out were at the crease when stumps were called yesterday, ending an engrossing opening day at Newlands. In badminton, ace shuttler Saina Nehwal will take on Czech badminton player Teresa Svabikova today in the first round of the women's singles of the Yonex Sunrise India Open at KD Jadhav Indoor Hall in Delhi. While Nehwal is ranked 25th, the little-known Svabikova is placed 117th. In another encounter, HS Pranoy will clash with Spanish Pablo Abian. Ajay Jairam will lock horns with Irish badminton player Nath Nguyen, and Lakshya Sen will fight it out against Egyptian Adham Hatem El Gamal in the first round of the men's singles. Other players who will be participating in doubles matches today include Ashwini Ponappa, N. Sikki Reddy, Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. Srinagar will have partly cloudy sky. The temperatures will hover between -1 and 7 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards the afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature was 6 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 20 degrees. Leh is likely to have partly cloudy sky. The minimum and maximum temperatures will hover between -12 and -3 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky. The temperatures will hover between -2 and 13 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards the afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature was 2 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 16 degrees. The national capital Delhi will have dense fog. The minimum temperature was 8 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 19 degrees. In Mumbai, the minimum temperature was 17 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 28 degrees. The city is expected to have mainly clear sky. Calcutta will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The city observed minimum temperature of 18 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 24 degrees. Guwahati will have generally cloudy sky with few spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature was around 14 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 19 degrees. Shillong will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The temperatures will hover between 5 and 15 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. With the surge in COVID cases, newspapers today carry details of fresh restrictions in Delhi. All private offices shut in Delhi to follow work-from-home mode, writes the Pioneer. Restaurants in for long winter as COVID bites, business shrinks. Many jobs on the line, states the Business Standard. Under the caption Rescue Plan, Government to become largest Voda Idea shareholder, states the Financial Express. On the financial front, the Economic Times states crypto industry brainstorms for ad guidelines. And finally, citing a medical marvel, US docs transplant genetically modified pig's heart into human, headlines the Times of India.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate 25th National Youth Festival in Puducherry this morning. Prime Minister to also inaugurate 11 new government medical colleges across Tamil Nadu and new campus of Central Institute of Classical Tamil in Chennai today. India and China to hold 14th Corps Commander level talks along LAC in eastern Ladakh this morning. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 153 crore 70 lakh mark. World Bank says Indian economy to grow at 8.3% during current financial year and 8.7% in the next fiscal. Khelo India Youth Games Haryana 2021 postponed following surge in COVID cases. And in cricket, South Africa to resume their first innings at overnight score of 17 for 1 against India in Cape Town Test today. And with that we end the morning news. Have a nice day.